To make a long story shorter, the teacher printed out the entire book. Mind you, it was explicit, okay, on school grounds. So I was awarded 3 days of after school detention. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell so you'll be notified once I create a new video. I have had a few people message me on Facebook asking the steps of how to publish a book. I actually went through a good friend of mine, and she actually published my first book, and I was able to self-publish my second book. There are different routes that you can take to self-publish, or if you want to go through a publisher, there are different routes. You can actually go to a publishing company, or you can have someone do it for you, which is just like a publishing company. I'm going to tell you all the steps of how you can self-publish your book. But first, let me give you a background story on myself. I have been writing since middle school. I always wanted to be an author. I was reading books that I had no business reading. Okay? Zane, Carl Weber, LaJill Hunt, Sister Soldier, just to name a few. I had no business reading those books in middle school, but I read them. I got ideas and I started creating storylines in my journals for potential characters, and that didn't work out for me. Even when I was in college and high school, when I had to do papers, I could never outline for my paper. I had to go to a Word document and just type. And that's what I did for my books, honestly. I didn't have a journal, I didn't have a notebook to write down storylines or anything. I just went straight to the computer desk and a blank Word document and just started typing. I didn't know what the characters were going to be about. I didn't know their names. Honestly, I don't even know the name of my books until I'm probably on chapter 2 or 3. I don't even know what the book is going to be about, okay? Honestly, I'm serious. So in middle school, of course, it was back in the day. We had the big old computers. I'm going to pin a picture of the computer that I was typing on. And we didn't have it inside of our bedrooms. It was inside of the living room. So I would stay up until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning just typing away. So whenever we would go visit my grandparents, I would take my spiral notebook like this, and from wherever I left off on the computer, I would just write it out, and my hands would hurt so bad. And I do have 2 good friends who actually supported me while in high school. They would read my stories, give me feedback. We would talk on the phone. This is back in the day when we would have 3-way calls, and I would read to them what my stories was. And she still has one of my books right now, unpublished. Okay? I knew I wanted to publish my books, but because of the explicit and the raunchiness inside of it, I was always fearful of what others might think, why is she writing about this? So by the time I approached junior year, I was a part of this committee where the freshmen are welcomed into the school, and pretty much we have to give them a tour of the school, let them know, try to welcome them around, blah 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 blah. Okay, substitute teacher one day, and I was almost finished with this book. My girls was like, yeah, this book is nice, I really like this. And I was like, okay, cool, I think I might publish this one once I graduate. So I wanted to print out just the table of contents and the first page, right? Evidently, I must have printed it twice. The next day, come back to class, and it was 4th period, so it's the end of the day. So the next day, I come back to school or whatever. The assistant principal calls me down to the office, right? And she was in control of the link crew at the time. So she holds up a manila folder. Do you know what this is? And me and my little innocent mind, I wasn't even thinking about the paper that I left on the printer or anything. Because the teacher didn't let me know anything. She didn't call me to her room. She didn't send me no email. She didn't let my other teachers know for the other periods. She didn't let me know nothing, okay? And I was like, something with link crew? Moral of the story, it wasn't, okay? To make a long story shorter, the teacher printed out the entire book. Mind you, it was explicit, okay? on school grounds. So I was awarded 3 days of after school detention, even though some of the officials told me that it was good, but that's neither here nor there. But that actually inspired me, and it motivated me even more to still publish my book. So once I graduated from high school, I actually wrote another book the beginning of my freshman year of college, and that was actually my first book that I published, A Dose of Betrayal. It really doesn't take me long to write a book. Like, once I'm focused on it, I can sit there and I can write it within nothing. Like, I enjoy writing. This book, it took me 4 years to write it, and I had a lot of distractions, but I was 97% done with the book. And then I reached out to a good friend of mine, and I was asking her how did she go about publishing her book, who did she go through, and she let me know that she had her own publishing company. So I was sold. I was like, yeah. And mind you, I only had 97% of the book done, and she was like, well, it only took me 3 months to complete my book and publish it or whatever. And I was like, oh, cool. I was like, I have it finished by this weekend. So it was like a Tuesday or Wednesday when I talked to her. By Saturday, I had the book done. I had read all over it, and it was like 27 chapters. If I'm wrong, I'll pin the actual amount of chapters and pages in it. But it was like 20-something chapters in the book, and that was published in 2017. And so then I was very, very nervous and cautious, because I was like, oh my goodness, like, the world is about to really see what's going on in my head. So I was really excited that my co-workers bought my book and they gave me reviews. So I wanted to create this video to show you all how easy it is for you to self-publish your book. The only reason why I know these steps is because my bomb publisher of my first one, she actually kept me in the loop of while she was publishing my book. So there are really 5 key steps to self-publishing. First, you're going to need your manuscript. Your manuscript is pretty much the book, what you're going to be writing. Okay, the content. Okay. Second is you need an editor. You can be someone that you trust, an English teacher, or you can go online and search for an editor. And normally they charge the rate per page or the rate per word inside of your manuscript. The third thing is your cover. It could be a photographer. You would need either a photographer or a photo of your liking to be the front and the back of your book. Also, depending on what you need, like say if you need a model, if you're gonna need props, and if you're gonna need models, then you're gonna have to do like a model search. Or if you have someone of interest for the characters for your book, cool. The fourth thing that you need is your ISBN, which is the barcode on the back of it. And I will also show you exactly how you can retrieve that. So it's gonna be a step-by-step. Promise I'm not gonna leave you hanging. And the fifth step is the source upload. So where you're gonna upload it to. You can either upload it to KDP, which is through Amazon. I think it's one called Lulu, and I'll leave the other ones down in the description box down below as well. So let's jump right into it.
Okay, so I know I said there were 5 steps into self-publishing, but there are really 6. It's optional, but I would highly recommend having a contract, especially if you're dealing with someone who is publishing your work and dealing with the models, as far as even including the photographer, because you don't want anyone thinking that they are entitled to your royalties to your book. Okay, so make sure you have a contract into place. So I am using KDP, which is known as Kindle Direct Publishing. It's through Amazon. My first book was created through CreateSpace, but now it has moved to KDP. So since I got the rights back to my book, because my contract ended with my publisher, I am going to show you all how to upload and how to create it through KDP. First, if you haven't signed up, you need to create an account, of course. You already know how to do that. I'm not going to do the tutorial on that part, but when you are doing a new title, you do have the option to do a paperback or a Kindle ebook. The formatting for both are totally different. So we're going to do the paperback. So you just click create a new title for paperback. The paperback details. This is like the book, like the language, the book title, if it's part of a series, and all of that information. So like I said, this one is my first book. So we're going to put A Dose of Betrayal. And my name, the author information. I was gonna have a pen name, but then I was like, no. So changed my mind, so I just used my name. Then the description, I have to go back to the website and copy and paste, so I can paste it into the description. This is just so people, when they go to the link to purchase your book, they'll actually be able to read what the book is about. And then publishing rights, you'll be able to put that you own the copyright, and hold necessary publishing rights. So you'll select that one. Then the keywords, this is just how, like whenever someone searches for a romance or if they're looking for drama, whatever keyword you put in, it'll come up in that list. And it's totally optional, but I'm going to put in Shattered Love because that is the sequel. So I think that'll be a good one. It's a contemporary romance and erotica, African American, as well as sexual. It is explicit, read at your own risk, and it is fiction. And then you're also able to choose the categories. As you can see, I chose fiction, romance, contemporary, and fiction, romance, erotica. Adult content. Does this book contain language, situations, or images inappropriate for children under 18 years of age? Yes, it does. So I'm going to get selection. Then you're going to hit save and continue. So the next is to print your ISBN. So you do have the option to retrieve a free KDP ISBN. I would not recommend it because nothing comes free. I don't know if that means that they would be able to hold the rights to your books, or I'm pretty sure that means that it'll only be available on Amazon. I really don't know all into that. You all can look into that. But if you want to choose that route, that is totally up to you. I only retrieve that just for the purpose of this video, showing you that you do have an option to retrieve that, and it's instant. As soon as you click the yellow orange button, assign me your free KDP ISBN, it generates it, and this is the ISBN that would be on the back of your book. Click on that, it gives you more information if you want to, read thoroughly, I guess. So it asks a question, can I provide my own ISBN? You can use your own, or you can go through the local ISBN agency, or through Bowker. You click on the blue hyperlink, buy an ISBN at a discounted rate. Usually they are $100, and it'll take you directly to the website, and it automatically adds it to your cart, and you can go ahead and check it out. I have already created an account because for my second book I purchased an ISBN. And the reason why I will have to purchase another ISBN is because my publisher purchased one when she published my book. But since I have the rights back to my book now I have to purchase my own ISBN. So scroll down. If you want to take a quick survey, do so. If not, okay. So then they'll send you an email with your order ID. If you want, you can screenshot it, copy and paste it, print it out, do whatever you want. So now I'm going to go to my email and I pull up the email, and you're going to copy and paste this ISBN that was sent to you that you just purchased. And then you're going to put it in that field of the ISBN. Your imprint is pretty much the name of however you put it inside of Amazon. And I'm going to click on that so you can see. It's the entity associated with your title's ISBN. So you would enter the imprint used to purchase your ISBN here. So whatever name you used to purchase your ISBN, which was my first and last name, that is what your imprint name is going to be. Then you have the print options of how you want your book and your paper to be. If you want it to be matte, you would select matte. If you want it to be glossy, you would select glossy. If you want a bleed on the book, you can select that. I personally do not like the bleed because it has like a black border around it, around the cover. It's hard to explain, but when you see the book, you'll be able to say, oh, it's a bleed on there. So on this round, I'm going to make sure that I select no bleed. And also your trim size is determined in regards to how you want your book to be. And if you want different sizing, you can select that as well. And they have different trim sizes that you can select. For the different variations that you use, that means the more expensive it's going to be to print your book. And for the publication date, this book was published on December 13th of 2017. That is optional for you to do. I'm only doing this because, like I said, I am republishing my book underneath my account. You do have the option if you want to post date it to a future date. You do have that option as well. And the fun part is the manuscript. I believe the PDF file for a paperback, the manuscript is easier than the Kindle version, because the Kindle format is so small, because you have to think of it like the Kindle is like a Kindle, like it's smaller. So the format is going to be totally different than your Word document for your paperback book. So you have the option to go ahead and upload the paperback manuscript, and then you're able to upload your cover file. And the book cover has to be in PDF file only. It cannot be JPG or anything like that. It has to be PDF. And then the cool feature is you get to do a book preview before you actually submit it for them to approve it. So you can do the launch preview. It takes at least like 5 to 10 minutes for them to preview. Usually exactly how it looks right here is how your book is going to look. And I'm going to show you an example of what I mean by that. It has to be certain dimensions here, and normally to the left by the quality check, it'll let you know what dimensions it has to be, and I'm going to insert a clip of exactly what I mean. If it's wrong, you're not going to be able to approve it. Since the dimensions are right, they just assume that this is okay, which is not, because everything is cut off. But the ISBN is in the right spot, so they are cool with it. But no. So you need to make sure that you look at the print preview, because exactly how it looks here is exactly how your book is going to look. If that orange button says that you're able to approve it, and you approve it, and you receive a print copy of your book, it's going to look just like this, and that is not good. So this is exactly how it should look. And you're also able to do a thumbnail view, which means that you'll be able to see exactly how it looks on the inside, the pages. Make sure there are no blank pages. Make sure the wording of everything is correct. All right, so now that you approve the launch previewer, it gives you a summary based on the dimensions of your book that you selected and the page count, as well as the interior and paper type. You want it to your printing cost is $4.22 per book. So you do have the options to select the pricing of your book, and whatever price you type in, it'll let you know how much you receive per book royalty wise. This is why I was stating the contracts are important, because people feel like just because they helped you take pictures or because you use them as a model on the cover, that they are entitled to a percentage of your book. If you want to, that's totally fine. But no, not me. Usually I always separate that. So the photographer, they get their cut. You pay the fee or whatever they charge, and you let them know. They might have a contract, you have a contract. Okay, cool. And then also the models, they have a contract, and if you want, you can pay them for their time or whatever the case is. But that's totally up to you. So since this book is 3 years old, the listing price is only $9.99, and this is showing the royalty percentage that I would receive if someone bought a book through Amazon. And then they have the terms and conditions, and it lets you know it can take up to 72 hours for your book to be available to purchase. And then you'll have to review everything, and then you'll be able to request a printed proof. So you actually go through another step after this. Once you hit publish your paperback book, they're going to review everything, and then you have a link that'll state that you can request a proof copy. And then if you're not satisfied with that proof copy, then you have to go through all the steps again, uploading the manuscript, fixing whatever you were not satisfied with. If it was a cover issue, then you have to go back in and redo it until you are satisfied. And you can continue to request for proofs until whatever. You'll just be paying the $4.22 because that's the amount of the book being printed. And then you also have to pay for shipping. Shipping is not included in that $4.22 price. And then once you're satisfied, then you'll be able to click the final approve or review approve or whatever the term is. And then you'll be done. So it's really simple. If you want me to do a review of how to do the formatting inside of the book for the paperback and the Kindle, just let me know and I'll be happy to upload that. Feel free to leave me a comment, like this video, and hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And thank you for watching. See you in my next one. Bye, y'all.